Religion is a belief system that connects humanity to spirituality and morality. Every faith is subjective, and religious scripture is prescribed to those who choose to follow, whether it be devoutly or not. One of the controversial areas that has been difficult for Abrahamic religious scholars to agree on has been the rights of queer people.
Looking at the wider Western societies, we have seen more and more acceptance towards the LGBTQ community, with the UK introducing the Same-Sex Couples Act in 2013. Yet, when we look at the Muslim community, there is still a struggle to accept queers. Same-sex marriages have been a taboo topic that mainstream sheikhs have refused to validate in fear of deviating from Islamic principles.
Jahid Chowdhury and Sean Rogan are the first same-sex Muslim couple to be married in the UK. What they have has been frowned upon by the Muslim community, but they believe that love has no creed and that their story is a testament of that.
I felt like I was in the centre of all this hate. It was my fault the community's falling apart. I had people kick me out the mosque. I had people, when I walked down the street, would spit on me. I was afraid to go out and leave the house, and we were under watch and stuff like that. But that didn't stop us, because me and Sean still held our hands together and we walked out and proud. I agreed to go to the therapy. I didn't want to be gay, and what they did was horrible. They made me watch gay videos, and they gave me a drug that will make me sick, so they tried to psychologically change me. I was praying by myself and praying to God to send me a sign or send me something to let me know that I'm doing the right thing and it's okay for me to live my life the way I'm living right now. So by some miracle, at that darkest time in my whole life, where everything was low and I just didn't want to be here, Sean came and approached me. And for some reason, I felt like I can talk to him. Every time I fell down, he would pick me up again.
By embracing and thriving in their love, they have come to believe that God will love them regardless of whom they love. According to The Guardian, a poll found that half of all British Muslims think homosexuality should be illegal. A lack of inclusivity in the Muslim community impacts queers who are struggling with their identity, as they feel as if the community that they were raised in is no longer there for them when they need their support most. Tugay Surak is a queer Muslim who struggled with his identity and found himself on the extreme end of the spectrum, considering joining ISIS to rid himself of his homosexual thoughts.
When I grew up, my father taught me that being gay is bad. When I understood that I'm gay, and my father passed away when I was 13 years old, I tried to pray the gay away. So it started with me looking for a cure for my homosexuality. In Germany, that was the time where all those hate preachers were super big all over the internet. I've watched a few videos of them, and that is how the whole radicalization progress started. Being gay and an Islamist who tries to be someone else and to hide himself, that was really depressing, obviously, for me. And that got to the point where I thought I don't want to live anymore. The Syrian civil war was a bigger thing back then than it is today, and I thought that would be the day where I would want to go to Syria to die there. You know, those conservative preachers always tell you, if you ask God for something in your du'as, he will either say yes later or it isn't good for you. And I thought, well, where's my yes? Why am I still gay? And I thought, okay, either God likes me the way I am or there is no God. I kind of distanced myself from Islam then. In the same year, this mosque I've been talking about was established, and I went there, and there was a gay imam doing a presentation on homosexuality in Islamic history, and I thought, yeah, okay, it fits together. I can be gay and I can be a Muslim.
Mahad Olad, a Somali currently residing in Canada, has similarly struggled with his identity and balancing his sexuality with his faith. But unlike Tugay, Mahad took a very different path and found that Islam wasn't the faith for him. Today, Mahad resigns as an ex-Muslim and teaches those in similar situations to him that they don't need to be a part of something that is not accepting of their true selves.
Being gay and being Muslim are irreconcilable. because Islam is doctrinally opposed to homosexuality. That kind of led to an internal struggle for me. And I felt like I had to choose either my faith or my sexuality. I was trying to find a way to make the two reconcile. I didn't want to be put in a box. And so I started exploring other aspects of the faith and started looking for other interpretive ways, other interpretations of the Quran where I could see myself, where I could be comfortable with my sexuality and at the same time retain my Islamic faith. But the homophobia was way too strong. I remember, I think I was looking at some of the works that were written by progressive Muslim scholars, queer Muslim scholars, in fact, who tried to reinterpret the Quran to try to find liberatory, potential within the faith. And those interpretations just didn't sit well with me. I thought they were a little apologetic.
In hopes of improving the situation, the first inclusive mosque in Europe opened in France, led by the first queer Imam, Dr. Ludovic Mohammed Zahed.
You can be at the same time embodying different things that people think are, first of all, impossible to reconcile. And second of all, they think that this or that part of your identity has to be contained, hidden, rejected, changed. If Islam would have spoken one day, it didn't say anything about homosexuality. You can read the entire Quran back and forth and the Hadith. Plus, if you go back to those verses of Sodom and Gomorrah, Qawm Lot, they always speak about people raping those guys, those patriarchs, a lot of power, a lot of money, a lot of greed. They rape women, they rape men. So that has nothing to do with homosexuality. So unfortunately, a lot of leaders, nationalist and Islamist leaders, started early 20th century to take that idea of we all have to be straight and make babies and defend the nation.
And we're not just making it about pride, we're making it about human rights and equality.
Sheikh Sharif Faisal is a centrist sheikh with more traditional values. He doesn't agree with either path that Mahad or Tugay follow, and strongly believes that they are capable of damaging the message that Islam promotes.
This tendency, it is not natural. It contradicts the human inclination, the pure human state, or what is called in Arabic fitra, that everyone is born in a certain way.
The queer Imam that I spoke to had a different interpretation of the story of Lot, and he said that the principle was focused on rape and inhospitality. That was apparently the reason why God punished the people of Sodom, and not because they were homosexuals. What do you have to say?
Normally people, when they want to try and defend their position, they can sort of interpret things in their own way. The Quran came in a very clear language. However, the really, really dangerous thing is when we encourage them, when we allow them to have their own, say, gay bars, gay prides, as if it's something normal. This has a huge potential to corrupt society. This could be worse than the opiate crisis.
The beliefs formed about homosexuality has derived from the story of the Prophet Lot and the people of Sodom. But after speaking to both Dr. Ludovic and also Sheikh Faisal, it is fair to say that scripture can be interpreted very differently. The Hidayah Project is the first initiative to come about in the UK to support queer Muslims suffering in silence. Osman, one of the founders of the charity, explains the services offered by Hidayah, but he wishes to remain anonymous and uses the name Osman to protect his identity.
The fact that I'm sitting in my car having this interview with you tells you how difficult it is for people who are queer and Muslim. We do a mentorship program, which is all about queer Muslims' mental health.
Osman has had to hide his queer identity because he is currently in an arranged heterosexual marriage. He has not come out as gay.
So I went on to get married. I tried to conform to society, and I went into my marriage knowing that I was gay. I only wanted to marry her so that I could put on a false narrative. I felt guilt. I felt shame. I felt that I was ruining someone's life in spite of my own life.
Complete acceptance of queer identities still has a long way to go in the Muslim community. But scholarly debates and proactive initiatives are definitely underway, speeding up the process. Will we see a growing rate of homosexual inclusivity in the UK Muslim community? Only time will tell. Maybe what is needed is to put humanity before differences.